Three Little Pig and Scott and the Big Storm.
On July 6, 1410, there was a weird oval shape that looked like a spaceship that appeared in the summer night sky of the animal kingdom. The Boers, who were the only survivors of the second impact, believe it was a spaceship called Sabi 4N1. Spaceship's name and shape appeared in their ancient Bible, which spoke about how their ancestors were brought to life and how their world was created. But it wasn't the god they thought it was. It was the giant devil, Scott, also known as Hades. As soon as he got out of his ship, he said, "I'm hungry for wild boar." Suddenly, the pigs felt a cold rush of wind whooshing through the citizens of the animal kingdom.
When they noticed Scott's ugly image, they all screamed like little girls in a haunted house. As soon as Scott emerged from the ship, he announced, "I will scare all of you with my ugliness, then I will devour you and go to the washroom." Joe said, I have an even uglier ugliness than you." Then Scott exclaimed, "You are right. You are very ugly, and my eyes hurt just from looking at you. You may have beaten me with your ugliness today, but next time I will defeat you." Scott yelled as he left in his ship.
10 days later.
Then Scott came back with the biggest axe in the galaxy and hit himself with it, and to make himself uglier. Then he said to the pigs, "Now I am the ugliest beast in the entire solar system." Joe said, your head-like face is not your fault, so there's no reason to hit yourself in the face with your very small axe. This is the biggest axe in the world, so just be quiet," said Scott. "No," said Joe. "Yes," said Scott. So yeah, stop. They went on for days without stopping. Then Joe got annoyed and took out an axe, the 10 times the size of Scott's, out of his pocket and said, "See? In your face."
Once again, Scott ran away in his ship. All of the pigs were happy again, but Scott wasn't done yet. He would be back again with the giant to help him eat the pigs on the Boar Street. But when he got to the animal kingdom, everything was different. There was security everywhere, so it was harder for Scott to sneak the giant into Boar Street. After he got in, he let his giant loose to destroy the village, but he soon found out that the villagers were so strong for his giant, and that it climbed up to a very tall beansprout to hide from the pigs. Then the pigs cut down the very tall beansprout, and the giant fell to his doom. Scott, being very strong, caught the giant and ran away again, saying that he would run away forever.
All the pigs were happy until they realized that all their houses were destroyed by the giant during the fight, and they have to rebuild it out of a stronger material than straw.
1 month later, the pigs had finished rebuilding their houses with wood, and they believed that they were less longer than old ones. Now that all the pigs had houses again, they would go back to rebuilding the planting the giant beans they were famous for.
1 year later.
For a year, Scott hadn't returned, so everyone was happy, but when Scott returned, he had a wolf with him. It was even bigger than the giant, and it had a big teeth, and it also loved to eat pigs. It had a mighty breath that would easily blow the pig's house away. It had destroyed the house so fast that the boars couldn't defend themselves from the strong wind. But one of the pigs was smarter than the other ones, and his name was Bob. Bob was smarter than the other pigs and had taken a longer time to rebuild his house out of bricks, and the wolf couldn't blow it down. Then Scott commanded the wolf to knock the house down. When the wolf did that, he ran right into the fireplace and burned his tail. He jumped up and hit his head on the roof. Boom! And got knocked out.
And once again, Scott returned, but this time he had a peace treaty and didn't have any monsters to help him capture the pigs. But the pigs weren't convinced, so once again, Scott the Devil got kicked out of Boar Street and got beat up by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Pigs, which was Bob and his brother Steve. The next day there was a spaceship in the air again, and the pigs immediately thought that it was Scott, so they all climbed up on bean sprouts and threw rocks at it. But it wasn't Scott who got out of the ship. It was known as Sabi 4N1. It was their god Cao Cao. He told the pigs the way to slay Scott. They were given a beanstalk the size of a giant pumpkin and told to plant it and grow a giant bean sprout.
After a good night's sleep, the bean sprout had grown so high that it was almost impossible to see the middle of it. So when Scott came back, all the pigs were ready for the fight of their little lives.
Scott soon realized that the pig was in the van, and he went up the Grand Bean Sprout to find them. It was easy at the first few minutes when Scott started camping the Grand Bean Sprout, but it's grand and hard to get it on to the tape.
Scott couldn't see the end of it. He was so exhausted he couldn't stand it. He was so tired that he started to slide down the bean sprout. Oh no, I can't do it. I hate you pigs.
But it had been a trap all along. The pigs chopped the bean down, and Scott fell to his doom.
And they all lived happily ever after. The end. This video is all rights reserved belonging to Leo and Timothy.